Oh, okay. All right. Much better start than this morning, I tell you. What's that? Oh, yeah. I tell you what, it was a little tougher. This morning we barely got a class, but we got one. Okay, hopefully we get this to work too. There we go. Okay, hopefully that's working. A little louder, little louder. There we go. We want to make sure people are really paying attention here. Okay, welcome back, folks, to another lecture series. This time we're covering the Van Tang, the Vietnam picture movie. The movie of the Vietnam that we made together, me and my team and my actors from California to New York. Now we had gone over this last time. We had gone over this, so I'm going to keep that there. Here, I'll let you. I'll actually put it on the page, and we let it up right here. Right, our structural 3 acts, and here we go. So yes, we're covering the Vietnam picture, part 2 of our series. So we're covering this again. Not so much to get into the script, but I've been told that people want to know more about some of the deeper concepts that go behind writing and making these kinds of scripts. Woo! So that's exactly what we're going to do. Okay, so here we go. This film is, it's not about Vietnam. It is in Vietnam, and I did say last time, 1968, it's an era of Vietnam, and it is very much in Vietnam. But it's not about Vietnam, it's not about America. It's not about communism, it's not about, nationalism, it's about performance. It's about performance, okay? 1968 is just the stage. In 1968, the world was loud, very loud, okay? And everyone believed in something. Everyone was certain that they were right. Everyone had their own political agenda. Everyone had conspiracies, their absurd revolutions. And, everyone thought history was watching them during this very late 60s era. And that's the point. The story examines what happens when power becomes the theater. When power becomes theater. Now, Lauren's character, if you remember here, I'll go back just in case you don't remember. So, Lauren was the revolutionary dominatrix commander, inspired by the real revolutionary iconography surrounding Ho Chi Minh. And she's not necessarily a soldier, but she's kind of a psychological tactician. But the funny thing is, Lauren's character isn't just a military leader. She represents control, elevated to ritual, and ideology as choreography, if you will. Her dominance isn't about violence, it's about belief. It's about posture. It's about optics, funny enough. And so she's going to be one of the leads. And it's funny because, most movies like this, you tend to think that a female lead in this position, that is, for example, would be a, femme fatale, or a, queen commander with her sword out, taking down a dragon. That's not the case for this Vietnam picture, or Vietnam, surrounding this picture, rather. And then so another thing is Montoya, right? So Ash Montoya is a militia leader, right? He leads the opposing local faction. Emotional, charismatic, impulsive, represents the raw anger of occupation. A lot of strife and anger in this whole damn thing. And so where Lauren was icy and calculated, Ash was more kind of a flame. Ruled, barked orders. But, he's the good guy. Kind of. But Ash's militia isn't just resistance, it's emotional. It's emotion, rather. It is emotional, but it's emotion unfiltered. Okay, it's fury without architecture. So it's not as ordered, it's not as, lined up. It's the raw human reaction to being controlled, quite frankly. Ash is kind of on strings, if you will, and the puppeteer is his circumstances. Now Gus is, like I said, one of the greatest twists of this script was going to be Gus. And Gus is this Rambo, right? He's like the Rambo character who ends up in the bar the whole movie, and that's just, funny into itself. But the funny thing about our fake protagonist, Mr. Friend, is Gus Friend is the myth of masculinity. Okay, it's the phantom of the American war hero, if you will. We build him up, sacred, brooding, mysterious. You think he's going to be, the hero. And it's because cinema has, in general, trained us to expect redemption through violence. I'll say that again. Cinema has trained us to expect redemption through violence, but he's hollow, as that is intentional. And so he is what happens when war mythology collapses. See, when you're in the war times, any war, World War I, or Civil War, World War I, World War II, the brink of World War III, which we're at, there's this mythology behind the war. People remember the war as, as epic, as Odysseus or something. So there's always, gossips, is like I like to put it. People playing telephone during the war. So that's what happens during a war, is this mythology collapses. Which then leads us to Zach McCollum, our accidental peace bringer. Now, he is the hero. Him and Ash kind of mixed together. They're both heroes, but he's the tourist. He's the outsider. And he, like I said last time, he's thinking Vietnam is an exotic place. It's jungly. He doesn't understand the politics. But it's not that he's an accidental peacebreaker because he's brave. Again, it's because he's completely detached. He is not the only one. He is not the only one not performing. Everyone else is trapped in their given roles: leader, revolutionary, hero, enemy. I mean, everyone has a designated role in this theatric war. Ooh. Right? And so, again, wacky but bleak, this storyline is. And so, Zach McCollum, he is just a person. And sometimes that's the most radical thing in the room. The film is about the absurdity of the ideological certainty. The film is about the absurdity of the ideologic of this crazy, crazy place, and of all these people being so certain that they know what's going to happen. And so it asks the question, if you strip away the uniforms, if you strip away the slogans, if you strip away the mythology, right? Okay? What are you left with? What remains? People. People. Tired people, scared people, lonely people pretending to be symbols. Okay, we see that every day. Day to day. Today was the State of the Union, right? If I could say 3 things about the State of the Union address today, I would say tired people, scared people, lonely people pretending to be symbols. So that's why that bleak tone is very much important for you to remember. Because in war, power is not glamorous, it's exhausting, it's repetitive. It's just repetitive and oftentimes ridiculous. Okay? It's just ridiculous. But that's what really captures, a good war film. Sometimes is, noticing the absurdity in it all. Too many war films are so serious, which, of course, most should, usually they should be, but this is why you're taking the class, because this is how you write a war script that's a little different, that sticks out. This is how you get a good deal from the executives. Well, let me get this. There we go. Now you can hear me a little better. Woo! Hey, you paying attention? Good job, good job. Okay, there we go. So, human beings are strange creatures who build elaborate narratives around their own importance. And, the film feels wacky because history is wacky. Okay? It's wacky. Humans are wacky, history is wacky, and, in the end of this, the peace doesn't come from dominance, it doesn't come from rebellion, and it most certainly doesn't come from violence. It comes from someone stepping outside of the script. And that's pretty much the deeper theme of this, comedy, if you will. Because this is a comedy movie, quite frankly. It's a war film, but it's kind of a comedy. Because it's a period piece that we're twisting on its head and turning into more of a, the absurdity of a war that you don't usually see. Whoa. So it's a film about identity as a costume. As masculinity as a myth, and as about power is as nothing but stagecraft. And it's about the strange possibility that mutuality, simple humanity, might be more disruptive. Might be more disruptive than any revolution. Simple humanity might be more disruptive than any revolution. And so that's really the deeper theme behind this film. Now, I know we talked about some of that at the last class that we did when we were dealing with this particular script. But, that was kind of only touching the surface of what needed to be really conveyed. And so that's why I wanted to do another class tonight covering it. Not so much getting into the scenes, because we will be doing that too. We will be doing a page-by-page analysis of every scene like we did in the first episode of our lecture series of this particular script. We have lots of scripts that we're covering, so it's hard to keep track. We got 1, 2, 3. But that's pretty much what's going on with this one. Is, if you can take away anything from this short little spiel that I'm giving you is the mythology behind war. I would urge you to do some research on wars throughout history and look at some of the mythology that has been manifested or brought up during or way after, more usually, the war. Because so many false accusations, false statistics even. And so, it just goes to show how political some of these things can go. And these are just people pretending to be symbols, lonely people. And I don't know, it's really kind of bringing the humanity out of war, because at the end of the day, we are all just human beings. And so, this is a common theme in a lot of my scripts, is bringing the humanity out. And showing that It's more disruptive to show humanity than it is to do a revolution or to start a war or to do whatever cause or event or protest or whatever humans tend to do when they're upset or they don't agree or believe in something. And so, it touches on free will. Touches on free will. And, I'm not the first one to do this, like I put up here in the script. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood did an excellent job of this. Quentin Tarantino did a wonderful job of conveying that very thing, bringing the humanity out of some dark circumstances, of some dark figures. Mr. Charlie Manson, of course, being kind of a mediator almost in that film, if you really think about it deeply. And pretty cool. So that's what's going on with our Vietnam picture. It's not even about Vietnam. So anyway, folks, I suppose that's all I have for you tonight. Quite frankly, because I have another appointment at 8:30, which we are about 5 minutes away from. So I better hurry. But again, go on Canvas, check out the notes of this particular script, and maybe do a compare and contrast of what you took notes on last time to this class, because now this class is filling in kind of all the blanks that you didn't have beforehand. So there you go, folks. That's all I got for you. But thanks for coming to class tonight, and if you have any questions or whatever, you just feel free to stay over. Like I said, probably got about 4 minutes now, but I got 4 minutes, and we'll make the best of it. So, all right. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Very good. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. What you're